Hello, this is Flying Donuts here, and this is a mini-game I've been working on for the past couple of days. It's a bowling mini-game, and just before I go into anything, the texture pack I'm using is one that I've made just because that stuff at the back there, where it's all dark and everything, that's actually nether quartz, so it makes things look better in context. So it's a bowling mini-game. You can have 2 players, or 1 player, and you start the pre-game starter button thingy, torch goes on. So now to bowl the ball, you simply run over the tripwire, wait a bit, and then you bowl. And there's your bowling ball. And that time, it's a strike. And then simply hit the reset button to do any of the resetting. And then it should reset like that. The same works for this lane. So you can bowl on this lane, wait a bit, bowling ball goes all the way down. That one was a strike. But these lanes are independent, so they don't always get the same thing. So if this one bowls, it could be something completely different. It could be 1, 2. See, this time we only got 4. And the lane won't work again until you hit the reset button. But both lanes work independently. So that's basically how this minigame works. But now I'm going to go kind of behind the scenes on how it works. It's based roughly on a very simplified pseudo random number generator. And yeah, this may look a bit crazy, so I'm just going to game mode 1 so you can fly over. And basically, the way it works, there's a book up there which kind of explains it, but when you start, this clock goes round and round and round. And every time you hit the button, the tripwire for each lane, it sends a signal to one of these circuits, which is this one here and that one over there. This is lane 1, that one's lane 2. And when that signal comes in on the green wire, it will then go through this, and it will lock the generator over there at either 1 or 0. So it's kind of like a memory cell. So yeah, I'm going to go into a lot of complicated words now. So yeah, it will lock the signal after 12 ticks on each, and then this basically makes a 4-bit binary number, which then gets decoded by this bit over here. And it's the same for this one. The way the pseudo random number generator works is an impulse that came in when you press the pre-game starter goes through a series of 5 D flip-flops, and a D flip-flop basically means that the input at D, which is there, gets moved to the output at Q, which is here, this bit here, only when it gets clocked on this clock here. So if it's off here at the time when it gets clocked, off gets taken through. If it's on here when it gets clocked, on gets taken through until it gets clocked again. So now it just got clocked, and then it turns to off. There we go. And it does this all the way down, so 1D flip-flop feeds into the next, and the output goes out at 3 and 5 into an XOR gate here, which then feeds back in straight back to the beginning. And this output here is the Q bar, which is the exact opposite of Q, so it just gets inverted back to the original here. So it's 1 out there and 1 out there. And this is the number 1, 0, which sets the output to 0 and 1. So basically, when it's on, it sets it to 1, and when it's off, it sets it to 0. So it's constantly flicking between. So if I just, for example, go scoreboards, objectives, set display, output, set display, sidebar, output, then you see the output is changing between 0 and 1 every time it pulses. So when you press the button, I'm just going to get a redstone torch to simulate the button press. Actually, no, I just use a button. So when the button gets pressed, it locks the output every time it hits one of these. And then it sends a signal out and works out what that binary number is. So at the moment, we've got 0, 1, 0, 0. So in binary, that means that the column with the 1 in is 0, the column with the 2 in is 1, which means you've got 2, the column with the 4 in is 0, and the column with the 8 in is also 0, which means the number should be 2 in a decimal. And that one is here, and here you can see that the number 2 outputs the decimal to 2, but all the other ones are off, because this combination here of bits, I think we've got bit 1, bit 2, I think this is bit 3, and then bit 4. So basically, each one of these bits is set by basically another scoreboard, and then it goes and gets checked using a test4 command for each bit when the pulse goes out. So it's kind of like a wireless redstone to simplify this greatly. And then, because it's set the number to 2, over here, these are the pins. You've got the one in the middle here, which is when this is, if the score of, this is lane 2, so that's output decimal lane 2. So if the score of the output decimal, if the minimum score is 1, when it gets tested, it'll output this one. If the minimum score is 3, it'll output, invert the pistons, and change that. And this one's 2. Same for all of these, they just go up all the way up to, I think this one's 10. Yeah, this one's 10. So the number can be generated up to 15. So if you get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15, you'll get a strike. But all the other ones map to pistons. So I'm just going to break my way back in, because I'm lazy. That's basically this minigame explained and shown you what it's like. It's available for download in the video description below, and also on the Minecraft forums, but depends where you're viewing this. You're either viewing this embedded on the Minecraft forums thread, or you're watching this video. Download it. It's really fun. I had fun making it, and it's quite fun to play with somebody else, or just to see how many strikes you can get in a row. So yeah, if you want to post on the forum how many strikes you get in a row, be sure to do that. But until next time, bye.